Is joined by Ryan Christian and Marvin Harris Jr. And the opening tap goes to the guys in black tonight. Louisiana on the road, where they are 2-11 this year and 7-16 overall, 5-6. They were 1-11 at one point after their season Sun Belt opening loss to Southern Miss, but since that time, 5 out of 6. And the first shot goes off the front of the iron, rebound by Preston Fowler for the Dukes, the rookie on the court to start things for the Dukes. And here is the starting five for James Madison. This is the first time this group of five have been on the court to start a ball game. It's presented to you by Atlantic Union Bank. Egbule, Davis, Ricks III, Fowler, and Newhoff. And the Newhoff to start the scoring for this encounter.
Egbule almost fell down, but then made a great pass to Newhoff to get the Dukes off early in the game.
So 2-0 for James Madison on its home floor, where the Dukes are much better than on the road, and that's pretty standard for many of the Sun Belt teams when it comes down to it. JMU 7-2 at this 6-year-old facility here in 2025-26. And the starting five for Louisiana coming at you right here as the first bucket is scored by Finister. As you see, it is Finister. Laverne Belisle getting the start. This is his second collegiate start. And you see the other starting five there. Alvera got a watt for him. He can shoot it from the outside, a 6'5" shooter. And that ball is just on the sideline. Saturday against Southern Miss.
Yeah, he goes from being kind of the lost guy, we hadn't seen him in weeks, to suddenly he's playing huge minutes and actually made some really big plays in that second game of the road trip.
Davis launches the three. Davis to the free throw line, where he shoots at 81%, and he cans that one. Offensively for James Madison, and it's a 4-point lead for the Dukes. JMU 11-12 overall, going 1-1 last week. Got that big win at Troy. And this league is really a league all about matchups. So don't figure that you can figure anything when it comes to games played in this conference. Nice rebound offensively for Todd Jones. And a re-gauging of the shot clock and a bumping foul on Taylor. For losses. 173 wins in his career. That includes that time with the Eagles. Took over for Mark Byington. And the nice bucket. By Laverne.
Finister's been their best player, but the lately the hot streak they've been on has been led by Laverne. He has averaged 20 points a game in the last two games. The hot streak they've been on has been led by Laverne. He has averaged 20 points a game in the last two games.
And a turnover, and that is a bucket easy for Finister.
And JMU's they have to matriculate this zone pressure that they're going to see the entire game. It's not only there to burn shot clock, they actually are active enough to create turnovers.
Like I said, this is a program that got off to a 1-11 start under the new head coaching of Quantus White, who came in from Houston. Kelvin Sampson, of course, the head coach there, and White played for Sampson.
And you got to think the way Coach White is recruiting, that they're going to up the tempo as the years go by. They're not playing super fast yet. They're not a big scoring team, but I think you're going to see that take off in the coming years.
From the outside off the edge of the...
I think you're going to see that take off in the coming years.
From the outside off the edge of the rim, the rebound comes down to Egbule, getting another start here today. So they're going to bring Bradley Douglas off the bench this afternoon. Newhoff gets it back and puts it in. Down to Egbule, getting another start here today. So they're going to bring Bradley Douglas off the bench this afternoon. Newhoff gets it back and puts it in. So Newhoff with 4 early points in this one. Egbule has a bucket for the Dukes, and the 4 points for Davis. It's Laverne and Finister scoring thus far for the Ragin Cajuns from Lafayette. From the outside, that bucket is Alvera, 41 out of 125 coming in, 33% from beyond the arc this year. Taylor.
Last year at Pepperdine, he put 27 on Gonzaga. So if you can score 27 on Gonzaga, you can score on anybody. Last year at Pepperdine, he put 27 on Gonzaga. So if you can score 27 on Gonzaga, you can score on anybody.
That's an attention-getting resume piece, is it not?
It is very impressive.
Finister gets the screen, that is. They work it down into the corner. On the move goes Laverne. Ball tapped out. Back to him. Finister dropped it off Sharp pass to Jones. Somehow he got it back. The rebound put back up and in by Ty. Minister dropped it off. Sharp pass to Jones. Somehow he got it back. The rebound put back up and in by Ty. That's his first bucket, and he averages 2.5 points a game. Taylor from the top of the key tries the three. Rebound control. Taylor from the top of the key tries the three. Rebound controlled. It's Finister, and he grabs 4.7 of those per ball game. Most of them on the defensive end. 75 of his rebounds this year have come. One of the slowest paced offenses in the league.
Right, and just here recently, that is, their pace has increased and their scoring has increased. And a lot of it's been because of the play of Laverne. Oklahoma, Isaiah Wilkes, his father is assistant coach with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that's a pretty good start. That's the number 1 rated class in the Sun Belt at this point.
Right, number 45 in the country as of January 6th was when they were looking at that ranking. That's tapped out and a foul is called. That's number 45 in the country as of January 6th was when they were looking at that ranking. That's tapped out and a foul is called. That's 23rd appearance of the year. A non-shooting foul. The foul going into the timeout was on Laverne, which that was his second. So he is not in the lineup at the moment.
Be interesting to see if he comes back before the end of the half or if they hold him for the second half.
Going up for that shot is James Christian Brown, who's rejected a lot of shots this season. One of the top shot blockers among freshmen in the NCAA. Dumping that pass off. That is just a little bit deflected. Rebound comes right back down, and I think he stepped on the end line. He does Evans. Freshman in the NCAA. Dumping that pass off. That is just a little bit deflected. Rebound comes right back down, and I think he stepped on the end line. He does Evans. Recently played up to 17 minutes against App State. Bradley Douglas coming off a good week last week for James Madison. Coming off the bench here today for his 23rd appearance. 17 starts, makes a bad pass there as it's stolen away. Coming off the bench here today for his 23rd appearance. 17 starts, makes a bad pass there as it's stolen away by Michael Collins, a very good-looking freshman. And he is fouled going.
Lots of good coaching. They run good stuff. I think it would be a little guarantee games early in the year, so their record is skewed a little bit because they're playing Power 4 schools, when in reality they're really, really top-notch mid-major teams.
Now, one thing that Coach Preston Spradlin was saying earlier this week, there's only about 3 players that he thinks are really high-level players in the league. There's a lot that you just go that next tier down, which is one reason there seems to be a lot of parity in the league this year.
Right. Well, awesome. Because you have a lot of guys that are really good in this league, but maybe not quite ready to make that step to the next level.
And we'll see. There's a lot of theories going on with how all of this will start to level off as the shot from the outside is pure for Darius Woodson. Three-pointer for him as he knocks down his 23rd of the season. He shoots with good accuracy, 36%.
And I think in Southern Conference play, I'm back in my coaching days.
That's all right, no worries.
Sun Belt Conference play, he's at 48, which that probably gets him to 50 now. So he's a guy you got to run at for sure.
Freshman for the Dukes takes a shot, does.
That probably gets him to 50 now. So he's a guy you got to run at for sure.
Freshman for the Dukes takes a shot, does. Preston Fowler in and out for that rookie who comes in with 33 pointers made on the year on 90 attempts. Under 13 minutes to go in the opening stanza. Ragin Cajuns with a 2-point difference. This is only the 4th all-time meeting between these programs. They met as a non-conference opponent over at the JMU Convocation Center as we get a couple of tie-ups. But these programs, they met at the Convocation Center. That was a win for Louisiana. And since then, they've been battling as conference foes, and JMU has won here before against Louisiana as that is rejected. Won here before against Louisiana as that is rejected. That shot blocked by Evans, and the layup.
This is what Louisiana's been doing to other teams over the last 2 weeks. They've been playing really high-level basketball, so JMU's going to have to dig in. And, Kurt, I'm going to guess we haven't seen Justin McBride. I don't know if we ever heard anything official, but I'm going to guess if we haven't seen him at this point, we're probably not going to.
He responded pretty well to the treatment. Got hurt in the game at Troy, about 12. A lot of new names, a lot of new faces. A lot of new faces in the in the Athletic Performance Center over at Bridgeport Stadium. All right, back in the lineup, we'll see right now Paul Jones III, who did not play in the game because of an injury. And this time I do not see the brace on his shoulder. This is the first time I've seen him on the floor without that black brace. As the shot is taken by Douglas, rebound comes out. Woodson early favoring Louisiana State by a smidge at 9-7. Make it 10-7 now after that board.
And JMU has rebounded the ball really well here lately. They finally got above board where they're positive in rebound margin, and that's the first time in a long time.
Kicked out. Alvera. You do have to keep an eye on him, and there's the three-pointer from the outside as well from Ratliff.
I don't think JMU expected that. He's
no.
1 for 5 on the year, I believe, correct?
That is correct, yes. That junior from New Orleans went to Booker T. Washington High School and Sean Dumas Academy. 6'8", 205, and he's got a triple. That makes him 2 out of 6 this year, so that's a little icing on the cake early on for the Ragin Cajuns. Davis, shot clock is at 5. They got to get a shot off here. Back to Ricks. Taylor has it, launches it, and cans it. How about that?
Took one earlier in the game. I wasn't sure it was a shot JMU would want, but in that situation, it was a shot JMU had to have.
Yeah, he took very few last year. In fact, he had a chance. I was keeping track of his career record, career three-point records coming in from Syracuse, and just put it aside for a while.
Right. Well, I can only speak for myself, but I was never a great shooter. But late shot clock, I was a pretty good shooter.
Well, there's another one, and they are saying a review. They're going to Louisiana shooting at 50%, 8 out of 16 from the floor, including 2 of 4 on trays. The Dukes, 6 of 14. That's 43%, but 2 out of 8 on three-pointers. Fowler, big-time Euro step.
Great. I like the fact he struggled a little lately from 3, so maybe the best way for him to get going is to attack the rim. He's got the size and the athleticism to do that. There's no question about that.
He's been grabbing rebounds at a good clip here recently. 5.6 is average over the last 8 games. That soft touch won't go in. And clip here recently, 5.6 is average over the last 8 games. That soft touch won't go in. And coming in to get the rebound, Eli Wilborn for the Dukes, 6'8" junior from Middletown, Connecticut. Last time I saw him this week, he was in a boot. But he said he was doing fine, and obviously he is, as he's on the floor now. Wilborn gets down low, is harassed, goes through the bodies, no foul. Ricks trying to get the rebound, and coming up with it is Finister as he tosses it up to below. Gets down low, is harassed, goes through the bodies, no foul. Ricks trying to get the rebound, and coming up with it is Finister as he tosses it up to Belisle. Belisle, a freshman, redshirt freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, and a transfer. He played for Mark Byington at Vandy, but did not actually play. He was on the squad there his first year. So he got a full redshirt for not participating in that season. Alvera, well off the mark this time. That's tapped right into Eddie Ricks. And Ricks called for a double dribble.
Once he left his feet, he had
redshirt for not participating in that season. Alvera, well off the mark this time. That's tapped right into Eddie Ricks. And Ricks called for a double dribble.
Once he left his feet, he had.
.8:20 to go, first half of action. Collins from the left wing comes up a little flat. Battle for the basketball. A starter, or has become a starter since December the 6th. So one of those pieces that the Cajuns kind of moved that ultimately resulted in positive.
Few, but you don't want to have ones that you just kick it off your foot.
That's 4 turnovers for James Madison. Louisiana's only coughed it up twice. With the ball, Todd Jones. Jones loses the basketball. It up twice. With the ball, Todd Jones. Jones Loses the basketball. Egbele, he goes all the way. And it does tumble in, little circus.
JMU's biggest win of the year. And if you watch that game in the first 10 minutes, JMU was on the verge of being, and he hit about 3 or 4 threes, falling down, hands in his face, and just willed JMU to maintain contact, which allowed them to then steal that win on the road later in the second half.
In his week last week, he was 15 for 34 from the floor overall, and ended up with 41 points in the week overall, and ended up with 41 points in the week. As the Dukes again going 1-1. And there he hits one from the left.
Coach White's not going to be happy with that. If you're going to run someone off the line for JMU, it's going to be Cliff Davis. You're not going to let him shoot the three. You're going to make him put the ball on the floor and come inside the arc.
Louisiana coming off back-to-back wins in Georgia, beating Georgia State 82-72, and then Georgia Southern most recently 69-16, which has won 3 out of its last 4. So a team which is playing well, getting into February, and February is the time you want to be playing well.
Yeah, and you talked about their improvements on offense over the last several games, and there's another 35.5 over the last 2 games, and their three-point percentage went from 33 to 50. And that 50 is on 18 out of 36, so it's not like they went 1 for 2.
Right. Yeah, that's 61.4 points per game that they average.
So it's not like they went 1 for 2.
Right. Yeah, that's 61.4 points per game that they average, even though it has been up lately, is still 14th in the league.
Correct.
So that gets you a little bit of an indication, too.
But if they stay on this 75.5 heater much longer, they won't be 14th for long.
Exactly.
But if they stay on this 75.5 heater much longer, they won't be 14th for long.
Exactly. We're tied at 22 with 6:15 to go, opening half. Egbele. Get some help from Christian Brown. Brown off to Davis. On him is Olvera. Off to the freshman, and that's tapped away. Good poke by Belisle. On him is Olvera. Off to the freshman, and that's tapped away. Good poke by Belisle to create the turnover. And that is rejected. Egbele. Good poke by Belisle to create the turnover. And that is rejected. Egbele.
I didn't quite know he had that much bounce.
Well, you know, he kind of gave it away earlier when he smacked the backboard on a layup by Finiston, and rebound pulled in from Brown. He smacked the backboard on a layup by Finiston, and rebound pulled in from Brown. The free throw line for the 25th time this year, 14 out of 24, and add another from beyond the arc.
Woodson is their version of Davis. If you're JMU, you run at him hard.
Needing some help is Michael Collins. And this is a Louisiana squad that's had to adjust for some injuries and a big time bucket made by Finister as he's up to 8 points. Their point guard when the season began was Jamiron Keller, and he had played an average of 30 minutes per ball game, was averaging 17 points. As there's the three-pointer swirling around.
Roof right now. He's a guy that's just been inserted into the starting lineup 5 games ago. He's played steady, but he's taken it to the next level tonight.
And he only played 6 minutes against Southern Miss on Saturday. I really don't know what that story was, if he got banged up in that one or not. As Finister missed, Egbele lost the handle out of bounds. Quite sure if they just decide, Justin McBride. Not sure if they're just giving him another game off or what the status might be.
I would say they felt like re-injury was maybe still a little bit there, and they didn't want to lose him for the rest of the season. Now, I find this sub of Laverne coming back into the game a little surprising because he's had 2 fouls and they've held him. Now, I find this sub of Laverne coming back into the game a little surprising because he's had 2 fouls and they've held him for about 14 minutes. It's a little surprising he comes back in this late in the half.
Maybe they're seeing something that...
I think they're seeing the scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly.
They're feeling it slipping away a little bit after a really good start.
Davis gets some penetration. Dumps it off Wilborn, and he skies it up. Wilborn, not a big-time scorer for the Dukes, comes off the bench in all 23 of this. Does this throw back some memories for you by any chance?
Absolutely. I think Matt picked this game for a reason. Now, I do think the snow contributed. We would have been doing this a long time ago, but man, what an incredible atmosphere, and man, a special place, James Madison University.
Well, today was signing day as that three-pointer was hit by Darius Woodson. That is his second. And again, he is a 36% shooter from beyond the arc. Let's keep you in the action here as well. And again, Egbile with 7 points already in this ball game. So, Coach, today was signing day. And you had a big class of transfers, is knocking double figures with 10. But all in all, the thing that kind of struck me today in your press conference was that you got a lot of help from a lot of people at JMU to get this class together.
Yeah, I mean, I think boots on the ground 54 days ago. We have incredible administration here. The leadership is dynamic, and just the nuts and bolts everyday people that contributed that were here. As we hired people and added to the staff, can't say enough about the professionalism of the group.
From the outside, that three-pointer missed by Fowler. Rebound is tracked Vera. It's been kind of quiet today as James Madison maintains the 5-point advantage. Davis, by the way, with that three-pointer gives him 10 points on the evening. That's the 17th time this year he has been in double figures. Well, Coach, all in all, when you get how much leverage did playing in the
ignition? I think that it got your foot in the door. It got people on campus, and I think we all know that once they get here, I think we were 65% success rate. So the place has history and tradition, but I think the most recent success spoke for itself.
What would be about the percentage that you would anticipate on that? Was that
history and tradition, but I think the most recent success spoke for itself.
What would be about the percentage that you would anticipate on that? Was that what Bob Chesney was doing here as well?
Yeah, I think the research that we had done, I think success leaves behind clues. We talked to a lot of the assistant coaches that had been here before, and obviously Coach Chesney and I had a chance to meet a couple different times. And I think there's something to be said for that kid who's bringing that underdog mentality with him. That's what's made this place. Is a unique competitive spirit. So I think,
and again, you have really fleshed out this staff. You've got all kinds of personnel as you move forward, and that seems to be settling in. What takes place between now and spring ball for you guys?
Well, we're in the middle of phase 1 right now, so that's Coach Lockwood and his staff, the strength conditioning staff. Most of the
that stayed with the program as well. You know you're going to lose some, but those that stayed, you're very pleased with that.
Yeah, it's crucial for your success is to keep that core group of veterans. I've been meeting with that group individually here the last couple of days. It's an impressive group, and I think that we're passing the leadership torch to a lot of these guys, and they're excited about the opportunity to lead and kind of, the standard is the standard. And James Madison.
Good-looking freshman for the Dukes, and that is just his first of the day. So under a minute to play here. Once again, we're joined by first-year head football coach of the Dukes, Billy Napier. And from the outside, Collins with the miss. And we're thrilled to have you here, Coach. This is great.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'm grateful to be here. I'm humbled to be here. This is one of the best places in all of college football, and I've worked some great places, but I'm going to tell you something. This place is special, and every day that goes by, I'm even more grateful for the opportunity.
I heard that you kind of came in early, didn't let anybody know about your first visit, and you made a phone call to one of your staff members and said, kind of wow,
Yeah.
This is because you can hear about it, but until you come and see it, that's when you really believe it.
I agree, and I think that story resonated with recruits. I think it was a big decision for me with my wife and kids, and I think for me, I needed to go see it with my own two eyes, and it didn't take long after that.
Well, we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us here at this ball game tonight. You got a lot of the players here, and I think you're going to get introduced to the crowd here coming up.
Yes,
so
sir.
We got you warmed up for that.
Awesome.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Billy Napier, head coach, James Madison football program. And here at halftime, Preston Spradlin and the Dukes have a lead of 32-29 over the Ragin Cajuns of Louisiana. Halftime coming your way here on ESPN+.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that opens up a world of possibilities. With Venture X, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. And turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
¿Necesita crédito? Tome un bolígrafo. Anote este número: 877-989-7999. Hudson Toyota trabajará duro para que sea aprobado. Llame al 877-989-7999. Busca un Toyota nuevo, Toyotas usados certificados. Llame a Hudson para ayuda con el crédito. 877-989-7999. Es Hudson Toyota.
Wreck. From Five Peaks to Main Street. From first chair to last call. You don't come here to escape. You come to be a part of it. You in? Start planning.
Now, when you get a Jimmy John's sandwich, you can add any bag of chips and a drink for only $1. You know, 4 quarters, 10 dimes, or 1 jillion pennies if you love counting. Whatever, $1. You get it. Jimmy John's. Oh, that's good.
Hey, fellas, you didn't get the memo? All the stuff that you hate about printing, it got fixed.
With the HP All-In plan, get a new printer, automatic ink delivery, 24/7 support.
Everything is different now.
I'll take that.
No one has to know about this, right?
No, that's why we did it in a field.
Well, we welcome you back inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center as James Madison has the 32-29 lead over the Ragin Cajuns of Louisiana. Again, we do appreciate JMU head football coach Billy Napier joining us here today. And Coach Napier now addressing the crowd here, talking about the 35 people that he hired for his staff and the 62 players that the Dukes announced as signing to join the program here for this spring and, of course, into next year. And some of those players are true high school athletes, just came in, just graduated in December, and many of them, of course, are coming in from other schools through the transfer portal as well. But you're going to see some of the new faces of the Dukes of James Madison coming off that historical season a year ago, or this year, actually, when it comes down to it. That season, of course, extended into December. So they're having that all take place here. Let's check out the Sunbelt halftime report presented to you by Visit Pensacola. And the game of the week today is in progress as South Alabama at App State. That game tipped off a little bit before ours, and the home team, App State, out in front 42-35 midway through the second half in that contest. App State looking for its 16th win of the year. Alabama's got 16. South Alabama does, looking for number 17 as App State tries to figure out that zone defense, and it looks like they've done so early. The key, of course, is shooting a three, pretty good against Richie Riley's zone defense that he applies at South Alabama. Take a look at the scoreboard. Of course, we just gave you that score. As we also see currently going on, it's Southern Miss over Marshall, 24-21. That game in Huntington. Arkansas State leading with 7:14 to go in the first half at Coastal Carolina, 19-14. ULM leading at Old Dominion, 21-15. And Troy over Georgia State in Atlanta, 22-19. And Texas State down in Statesboro, Georgia, trailing the Eagles of Georgia Southern, 24-21. And here are the standings going into tonight's action. You see Troy out there in front. The Dukes giving the Trojans one of those 3 losses last week. Then it's South Alabama, App State, and Marshall. Coastal Carolina, Georgia Southern, Georgia State. Texas State in its final season before going to Pac-12. And, of course, remember, Louisiana Tech coming into the Sun Belt in that void. And no later than not this summer, but the summer next. Maybe earlier, we'll see. Also, Southern Miss at 6-6. Arkansas State. There's UL, Louisiana, and JMU. And then Old Dominion and Louisiana Monroe for the standings. And here at halftime, the Dukes with a lead by 3 over Louisiana. 4th all-time meeting between the programs. The Dukes lead this series 2-1. They're 2-0 when it comes to playing the Ragin' Cajuns in Sunbelt action. But the Cajuns do have a victory here in Harrisonburg next door at the Convocation Center. We'll come back with more of our halftime after these messages. You're watching men's basketball action from the Sunbelt Conference on ESPN+.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy. I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week at most locations.
Oh, can I use your ATM?
Yeah, anything for a neighbor. What's in your wallet?
Traction that counts. Warmth on demand. Comfort that expands. Welcome to the Genesis GV70 and GV80.
Get 3.99% APR for 60 months on select Genesis vehicles. Exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
Getting the right mattress helps you sleep at night. Getting the right price helps you sleep even better. At PC Richard & Son, we don't just sell you a mattress. We use a 4-step fitting process, so your new bed fits you perfectly. Right now, get President's Day savings on select adjustable mattress sets with up to $300 towards anything else in the store. Special financing offers available, plus free delivery and setup. The right fit, the right price. It's kind of our thing. PC Richard & Son.
Breck, from 5 Peaks to Main Street. From first chair to last call, you don't come here to escape. You come to be a part of it. You in? Start planning.
Brace your taste buds. The new DQ Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket comes with cool DQ soft serve as a dip for just $6.99. Add one of our new Tajin lemonades. It's the new Swicy menu, only for a limited time.
I learn a lot from every film role, but some things stay with me more than others. Like the impact from Alzheimer's disease. It's important to think about brain health now, because there's so much we want to do. Acting early to protect brain health may help reduce the risk of dementia from conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Ask your doctor about your risk factors and for a cognitive assessment. Learn more at brainhealthmatters.com.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky. Being out in a rural area, coverage is pretty hit and miss with other carriers, so switching to T-Mobile solved a lot of problems that we had.
I'm able to use T-Satellite now. We've got coverage no matter where we're at.
America's best network needs off-the-grid satellite coverage with T-Satellite. And now, for a limited time, get our most value-packed plan ever. Families can save over $1,000 a year versus Verizon and AT&T on streaming, satellite, and more benefits that they leave out.
I'm a Denny's Super Slam. Hot stuff coming through. Okay, y'all can chill now. With our new Slammin' Meal Deals, you can feed everyone and still get dessert. If you've got room. Good luck. Denny's new Slammin' Meal Deals starting at $5.99.
Do you enjoy college sports? The athletes, the excitement, the competition? Protect it. Don't lose the excitement of national competition. Don't jeopardize women's sports and Olympic sports. Make sure your favorite athletes continue to enjoy the many important benefits provided to them, and ensure that we preserve and standardize name, image, and likeness rights. Tell Congress to pass the SCORE Act at passthescoreact.com.
Back inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center, JMU leads 32-29 over Louisiana. We'll be back after the break on ESPN+.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy. I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week at most locations.
Can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Oh, my wash machine's on the fritz also.
I got just the thing. Woo, you make a pretty good bank guy. Want to try the catchphrase?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Now the other one.
What's in your wallet?
You're a natural.
Traction that counts. Warmth on demand. Comfort that expands. Welcome to the Genesis GB70 and GB80.
Get 3.99% APR for 60 months on select Genesis vehicles. Exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
Breck. From 5 Peaks to Main Street. From first chair to last call. You don't come here to escape. You come to be a part of it. You in? Start planning.
Prada, 2000 runway.
eBay 2025. Dior from eBay.
Back with the baguettes.
Fendi, guaranteed authentic. Let me guess.
eBay.
Same.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Need a new mattress but confused by all the options? At Mattress Firm, we understand that so many choices can make mattress shopping overwhelming. And our sleep experts have the extensive training, unrivaled know-how, and advanced tools to match you with the perfect mattress. And right now, get a queen mattress and adjustable base for just $499.99. So for the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy.
Nobody ever said, like that chicken from Popeyes. These bold Louisiana flavors aren't meant to make people fall in like. That's why it's love. For a limited time, get your faves for $5 each.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
And we welcome you back inside the Atlantic Union Bank Center Sunbelt Conference action tonight. The Dukes leading it 32-29 here. I'm Kurt Dudley along with Kirby Dean. Thanks for stepping aside there. We appreciate Coach Billy Napier joining us here today as we talk a little football, basketball. Let's get back to the basketball here. This first half of action, James Madison with his 32-29 lead. What do you got in that first 20 minutes for us?
I think both teams feel pretty good about the first half. JMU, because they were behind, but they were able to seize the lead before half, so they feel good about that. And if you're Louisiana, arguably the best player for you the last 3 or 4 games has been Laverne, and he gave you almost nothing, not because he didn't play well, but because he was in foul trouble the entire first half. So I think it's a rare occurrence where both teams feel pretty comfortable, but I think both do right now.
Here's Finister for Louisiana. We talked about him in the open, and of course he has been one of the steady eddies, if you would, for Louisiana this year.
Yeah, he's just a solid do-everything player, and with Laverne out, he even took on more responsibility to try to keep them connected here in the first half.
And for James Madison, well, you got Cliff Davis lofting them up. Davis in double figures once again for the Dukes.
And he's proven to be one of those guys that can literally carry your offense. And I think the key is not only does he recognize that, but do his teammates realize that. When he gets hot, he's the guy that everybody has to be looking for, because he's one of those guys that when it leaves his hand, you almost feel like every one of them are going in right now.
And arguably the best, I'll say 12 and a half minutes we've seen Jose Egbule play for the Dukes.
You've seen his confidence kind of slowly grow, and I think in that first half was the culmination. You mentioned earlier that he had been starting. I think he was starting probably because of the defensive effort he gives in practice. I'd be willing to bet that. Now, if you can add the offensive piece where he can give you a little something on that end, suddenly you have something. Now, Douglas only played 7 minutes in that first half, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the second half from a PT standpoint.
Laverne does start the second half with 2 fouls, but on the floor for Louisiana. Olvera was relatively quiet in that first half for the Cajuns as well. That's off the glass and well played, that he has had an opportunity to loft up.
And you see why he's so important to what they do offensively. He's been playing with a different level of confidence, so not having him in the first half was very impactful for Louisiana's offense.
Both these teams with 19 rebounds in the first half. James Madison shot 42.9% to 38.7% from beyond the from the floor. 4 of 12 were the Cajuns in the first half from beyond the arc. The Dukes 5 out of 16. At the free throw line, not many taken. Louisiana 1 out of 2. The Dukes 3 out of 5. Turnovers, 5 for James Madison, 5 for Louisiana. Only a 3-point spread. We get a pushing foul.
Staggered, and when he didn't have it, Louisiana took that away, made him come inside the lane. He's a good player going to the rim, but he's a better player shooting that 3.
Egbule gets over the top of the screen. Now he gets the screen again. That's pretty close to being not quite legal. Bump, Olvera, and a foul.
Out of their cylinder.
Olvera to the free throw line, 65% there. The CAA brethren of James Madison, UNC Wilmington, as he hits.
UNC Wilmington has a really, really good team.
They do, yes.
They have 2 kids that their fathers, one played at Bridgewater and one played at Eastern Mennonite, and they're 2 of the best players on that team.
How about that?
Yeah, that's some trivia for you, right?
Yeah, that's a different kind of tree.
Derek Hodge from Bridgewater and Tim May from Eastern Mennonite.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
I did not know that.
For you, right?
Yeah, that's a different kind of tree.
Derek Hodge from Bridgewater and Tim May from Eastern Mennonite.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
I did not know that. Thank you for educating me on that one, Coach Dean. Derek Hodge, huh?
Yep, Derek Hodge, who was a really good player, but wouldn't have sniffed playing in the CAA.
No. But he was a good ODAC.
He was a really good ODAC player and a good guy. A really good friend of mine, actually.
13 to shoot. Laverne will do so, and Laverne cans it.
JMU's going to have to adjust defensively because they didn't have to allow for him in the first half.
And Ragin Cajuns have raged right out to take the lead here, 36-32, early on in the second half of play. Egbule with a career-high 7 points to Newhoff. Fowler, Egbule gives it up to Newhoff, drives, draws the foul. Early scored in this game, has got 4 points. Looking for number 5. He'll get had 8 points in that ball game.
3 years, and you would have a connection to this.
Now you're challenging me. I'll have to think about that one a bit.
Okay.
Give me some time.
You would have some things in common with this young man.
Okay. Here's Laverne. And it comes back on out. Finister in the paint at the logo. And it tumbles on in after the foul. Played in 25 games for those Cougars. And 19 games for the Bearcats. Finister completes the 3-point play. 13 in his scoring column. It's a 6-point lead. James Madison led by 3 at the break, but down by 6 with 17 to go.
Finister's a little like McBride in that he's a junior, so he could come back next year, have 2 years in the same system, and probably really excel.
Just to go with all those other recruits that
Correct.
Louisiana's got in the cupboard. Vanderbilt redshirted there with his one season with Mark Byington. That was last year. Season high 13 points.
My question would be, do you think Mark Byington recruited him, or did the previous coach recruit him?
Good question.
Out, which created a moving screen is what it essentially became.
Okay, I got you. Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, you just think he's blocking. Just think he's blocking out, basically.
Correct.
Just a little too soon. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's up and in. As right now, Louisiana has got the Big Mo, 41-33, and a timeout is necessary for Coach Preston for this week.
Feels like there's not really an off season for anybody in this day and age.
There is not.
Even down to high school, there's just really no breaks. See what JMU comes out of the timeout with here.
They come out with Douglas on the floor for one.
Little European ball screen offense here.
Finds Brown. Brown works his way through the contact, draws a foul.
Better execution and ball movement, better shots, and they've been giving up too many offensive rebounds.
Douglas has been a young man that's been able to get it going at times and be a difference maker in the offensive end of the floor. Because I don't think Cliff Davis can do it by himself. But I think if Douglas gets it going, JMU can close the gap here and makes this really interesting going down the stretch.
After the miss, Louisiana with the rebound. Finister gets into the paint. He likes that shot from the logo and slipping in underneath the backboard right down the baseline. Olvera with the rebound. And again, boy, they are long in these rebounds here today. Is underneath the backboard right down the baseline. Olvera with the rebound. And again, boy, they are long in these rebounds here today. Is underneath the backboard right down the baseline. Olvera with the rebound. And again, boy, they are long in these rebounds here today is Louisiana. I mean, it seems like every time the ball goes up, you've just got Louisiana stretching out to get to at least a touch. Finister, that gets pinballed around off Douglas. Michael Collins, freshman from Carrollton, Texas, Shadow Creek. It's kind of been a roller coaster on his minutes played this season. Comes up way shy, and the rebound to JMU. It's kind of been a roller coaster on his minutes played this season. Comes up way shy, and the rebound to JMU. Empty possession for Louisiana. Can James Madison capitalize with this possession? As they've been held to just a couple of points here, or 1 point that is, here in this half. They find Brown alone again, and he is bumped. They again from Baytown, Texas. He stands in at 6'7". He's got 6 points tonight. Again, 11 points against Georgia Southern's Eagles in the 69-60 win. That's a foul reaching in on Cajuns Seahawks of UNCW. And that was on December the 6th. They did lose that game by 7, but they soon started to turn the corner. Ball comes out. Taylor can't save it. That's just a again for Louisiana, the Ragin Cajuns. Facing a number of new schools this year on their schedule, first time. And that swishes through.
We've mentioned before, you cannot lose him. He's up over 50% in conference play now. So that's a guy that you've got to run off the three-point line.
And it opens up an 11-point lead. Expands that run to start this half. Right now it's an 8-0 run. But for the half, you're looking at 15-1. Taylor tries to break it. That is too strong. And it's last touch by Louisiana. They're going to face Central Michigan, which you thought, well, maybe.
Good effort.
They're going to face Central Michigan, which you thought, well, maybe.
Good effort. Only had 1 second on the shot clock.
Try to get something off there. Again, they're going to face Central Michigan. That's blocked by Christian. Try to get something off there. Again, they're going to face Central Michigan. That's blocked by Christian Brown. That's block number 39 on the season, and Douglas gets his first.
And like you said, maybe that'll be the play that gets him going, because he can be a difference maker for JMU.
Puts it back to single digits as far as the deficit from the JMU perspective. far as the lead for the Louisiana perspective. Coach Dean didn't like that shot.
No,
exactly.
Yeah, that's frustrating to me as a coach. You cannot let him shoot threes. Make him put the ball on the floor.
Justin Taylor loses a basketball, finds it right behind him as he is going up against Olvera. Douglas nearly running out of space there, and a foul.
They are very early to call it for a while, but they won't call it the entire game, and it'll benefit your team. I know Bob Johnson, God rest his soul, one of the greatest coaches I ever coached against, his early Emory and Henry teams would foul you so much that the officials just finally got tired of blowing the whistle. You got to feel good for Justin Taylor.
You do.
He certainly didn't transfer here from Syracuse to not play, and he struggled a bit. And to contribute later in the season proves that he maintained his mental capacity to be ready to help.
And he is a local product. I say that because he's from Charlottesville. This time he comes up the loose basketball. And he is a local product. I say that because he's from Charlottesville. This time he comes up the loose basketball. Dukes have a 2-on-1. And Taylor tries to go up with it, and Finister called for the 5 points. And try to increase that high with JMU. He also played 24 against Wake Forest, but that was last season. That is correct. 2 seasons at Syracuse, 61 games, 34 of those were starts. He played in all 32 games that the Orange played during the 23-24 campaign before he came to James Madison. There he grabs a rebound. 2 games that the Orange played during the 23-24 campaign before he came to James Madison. There he grabs a rebound.
See, I knew you'd have those stats at your fingertips. That's why I teed that up for you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
There's a teed-up assist out of it.
Egbule broke the cardinal rule of leaving his feet without knowing where he was going with the ball, and Ricks just happened to break open at the right time to bail him out.
It's a 4-point game all of a sudden. It was 11 points just a couple of moments ago. The lead, LeBurn tries to get 2 of it back and a rebound. So it was 11 points just a couple of moments ago. The lead, LeBurn tries to get 2 of it back and a rebound. So that block shot and then the bucket by Douglas does seem to be a pivot point in this game for JMU. And there goes Ricks again.
The shot clock, they seem to be more effective, especially without McBride.
And a timeout is called. Not the only brother combination of coaches in the Sun Belt down at Georgia State. They've got the 2 brothers there coaching. See it every once in a while. There's the 3-pointer left corner, no good. Rebound Wilborn of the Dukes. See it every once in a while. There's the 3-pointer left corner, no good. Rebound Wilborn of the Dukes. Off to Eddie Ricks, who looks up the floor, brings it across the timeline on his own accord. James Madison with a chance on a 9-0 run to tie this ball game up or take the lead. Trying to wrap the pass inside. Wilborn loses the handle. A hustle for the basketball. Scoreless today. Had 13 points against Georgia State last week, after no more than 5 points in any game before. So a bit of an explosion for him, trying to drop that pass off to Wilborn. A bit of an explosion for him, trying to drop that pass off to Wilborn. It goes errant, and a foul on.
2 shots on that. I'm not sure they give LeBron 2 shots on that.
I think that was just my mouth continuing to talk without thinking. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. LeBurn will back it out. Finds Finister. Finister, 3-point arc, no good. Rebound Egbule. Finds Finister. Finister, 3-point arc, no good. Rebound Egbule. He looks up the floor right away.
Surprised to see Finister hit the step back and shoot the 3 there, because he's had a lot of success getting into that free throw line area and elevating.
Well, maybe he's just trying to loosen that up again so he can drive later on.
Maybe so.
And that would be a good ploy. Egbule drives, dumps it off. Brown drops it in.
S-line and set Christian Brown up with a wide open layup.
He is 3 for 4 from the floor for his career high, JMU career high, with 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Does have a couple of turnovers, and we get a foul.
All you to do is stay straight up.
Well, I guess we get our first look at what LeBurn back to the strike. And he hits. He hits. I was talking earlier about the new teams they're facing this year, and I thought, well, maybe there's a chance that Central Michigan is a team they've never played before, but that's not right. They did play them way back when, however. in 1967. It's the only meeting between those two programs. They meet on Saturday in the Sun Belt MAC Challenge. There's a three-pointer.
15 games of the year.
So that is his first double-digit scoring effort in a James Madison uniform for Egbule, and he gives James Madison the lead that they lost early in this second half of action. Finisher on Ricks. Finisher drives. Ooh, got by Wilborn.
Rather him, if I'm JMU, I'd rather him hit that step back and try to shoot the three.
That ball was rocketed, came right back off the side of the backboard.
That was a great idea by Ricks, but he threw that ball about 120 miles an hour.
The radar gun on that one.
Yeah, I don't think Turek Skubal could have thrown it in harder than he just did.
48-47. Pitchers and catchers do report before too long.
Best time of the year, man. Best time of the year.
Step back, a three-pointer. And so as I mentioned earlier, Keller was supposed to be their point guard. Belial gets hurt early, so he misses some time. And so you end up with LeBurn having to, as a really a combo guard, having to play a little bit of both.
And he's been a bit of a revelation there over the last 4 or 5 games. You know, is that a trend, or is that going to be the way it is?
Now, we've talked about we have not seen for James Madison today. Justin McBride as a foul called at the opposite end. We got a timeout on the floor, 7:25. And here's LeBurn from the outside. Smooth shot dropping in. And the Cajuns back up. This time it's a 4-point spread.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy. I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for. Open 7 days a week at most locations.
Can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Oh, my wash machine's on the fritz also.
I got just the thing. Woo, you make a pretty good bank guy. Want to try the catchphrase?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Now the other one.
What's in your wallet?
You're a natural.
Traction that counts. Warmth on demand. Comfort that expands. Welcome to the Genesis GV70 and GV80.
Get 3.99% APR for 60 months on select Genesis vehicles. Exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
How I'm loving life these days.
Thank you, Stan.
Heads up, Coach. Media's here. Watch me work, baby.
I'm sure they're here to see the commissioner of coverage.
Flack.
Excuse me, Commissioner.
When health insurance doesn't cover everything, what's the move?
Aflac. What the commissioner means is that Aflac gives you cash to help with all those medical bills.
We think you're amazing.
I came to see you, huh?
Get help with expenses. Health insurance doesn't cover with
Aflac.
An official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
How do we get Aflac?
Man, they gotta ask about it at work.
They are working.
Coach Billy Napier, head football coach at James Madison. We've got our first replay of Coach Napier on the sideline here at the Atlantic Union Bank Center. Look down in the right corner there. You see him. He'll come into your screen. Look at his reaction. Ah, shucks, man.
And he did confirm that he did not think the call was accurate. It wasn't that he was mad at Christian Brown for fouling. Like most coaches, though, he was wrong.
When it comes to the guys that wear black and white. Yeah. Okay. Good crowd is on hand here tonight. Good student section. Tonight was Western Wednesday. They gave away handkerchiefs for today's contest. At the line, Woodson. The 1-1. Hits.
And a guy, but can you get away with playing 2 6-footers at the same time?
Not to worry about him. You can go home, go to sleep, not worry about it at all.
You literally lose sleep over trying to figure out how to get through that decision.
Woodson up to 11 points. His season high 17 came against the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe. Former JUCO player at Tyler Junior College and a transfer from North Dakota. And there's a bucket for the Dukes. So depth will become a factor here as Fowler up to 5 points.
JMU with a little 1-2, 1-1, three-quarter court pressure. You would think Louisiana would be really good against this because they practice against it every day.
Lyle with the dribble handoff to Olvera. Under 7 minutes to go in this fourth all-time meeting between the programs. Finister just lost the. Justin Taylor continuing to put time on the court for the Dukes here today, as is Egbule. Draws the double team. Davis. Taylor in the paint. Bumps. And leaves it off for Davis. 12 to shoot. They'll have to restack it. Brown sets up a screen. Pass was high, but Fowler, wow, how did he collect the
pass? It was the right pass. It just wasn't executed very well. But Fowler was able to pull it down and stroke the three. I mean, he's just sometimes getting a layup or a short shot to go in, frees you up, and suddenly you shoot the three even better.
So Fowler has 8 points. Yeah, usually a pass like that shot ends up a little errant.
I didn't even think he should shoot it.
Well, yes, I don't disagree. There's the answer, though, on the year for the 33% three-point shooter, and back to a three-point lead for the visitors. Cliff Davis draws the attention of Finister.
Wow. Oh, roll 10. Yep. And Davis is showing his ability off.
And it's knocked down by Olvera. Transfer from Pepperdine and another product from Houston, Texas. So maybe he and Egbule cross paths down there in Texas and Houston. Of course, that's a big city.
In this day and age with AAU and such, you pretty much cross paths with everybody at some point.
Laverne bumps with Brown, then finds separation.
Have two on the same team is almost unheard of.
Talk about Laverne's scoring at 14 points here today. He's also in the top 15 in assists in the Sun Belt. Actually, he's 8th when you consider the Sun Belt games that they've played, or 9th rather. And a reach-in foul. Alabama again. South Alabama likes to play the zone, so might have been set up well. And goes 1 for 2 on this venture. And goes 1 for 2 on this venture. It's Woodson with the board.
Into the slow press off of a miss. JMU's really trying to burn some shot clock, create some havoc on defense. So now they only have to play defense for 15 seconds instead of 20.
Old Dominion in front there. All right, the basketball with 15 seconds in the possession of Louisiana.
JMU goes, yeah. I don't know. Is that zone or man-to-man, Kurt?
I think they go man.
Yep, they're back into man.
If they made you think about it, I'm sure the players had to think a little bit about it too. That shot taken with 2 seconds remaining, not leaving the hand of the shooter.
Big possession here for JMU. If you can get back in these last 4 minutes and get a win at home here and then get McBride back before the next game, you got a chance to really make a run.
That's a good shot by Fowler. Rebound, Wilborn goes up, and hold on, we get a foul.
Minutes and get a win at home here and then get McBride back before the next game, you got a chance to really make a run.
That's a good shot by Fowler. Rebound, Wilborn goes up, and hold on, we get a foul.
Yeah, that 5 spot's been a tough spot to figure out because you got 3 guys there that all bring.
In that James Madison game tonight on the women's side, and 0 for 2 in that James Madison game tonight on the women's side, and 0 for 2 goes Wilborn here. As Ragin Cajuns get the ball into the offensive zone. Weaving it out front. Stepping out off the edge. Got a good shot. Rebound comes out. They'll reload. Kind of watching some of these matchups. Keep an eye on Woodson. He's going to pop out as Cliff Davis has him. There's a size advantage. Baseline jumper, no. Rebound, missed. Rebound this time, Wilborn was protecting the basketball. Ripped away from him from Olvera. And another reload for the Ragin' Cajuns.
Yeah, Wilborn's got to sharpen up his elbows there. He had 2 or 3 guys digging in there. You just got to be really strong with the ball in that situation.
Yeah, they got 30 seconds on the shot clock was because James Madison actually had the possession with Wilborn.
Yep.
So they can chew up a little time here, albeit it's just a 2-point lead. Laverne tries to go one-on-one. Wilborn again goes up. Does an excellent job of Laverne tries to go one-on-one. Wilborn again goes up. Does an excellent job of just staying with the basketball. The Dukes have a break. Here goes Ricks. Ricks is fouled going up by looks at 80. 2 players available for the Dukes, and that goes off the backboard.
I would argue free throw shooting is always going to be a big thing.
It's that one does Ricks as he makes a bit of adjustment. He has a half dozen points. The pressure as the ball gets across the midcourt stripe. Under 2 minutes to play. Juanis White directing his team from the sideline. Down to 7. Olvera steps back. In and out it goes. Ball was knocked away by Christian Brown, but into the midst of Louisiana. This we've seen. This is kind of like Groundhog Day. 2 days later for Louisiana.
The offensive glass is killing JMU right now. Their defense is actually pretty solid, but they can't clear the rebound.
Olvera has it knocked away. Ricks dukes the
rebound.
Olvera has it knocked away. Ricks Dukes have a 2-on-1 to Egbule. He misses, but it's followed up by Brown. Ricks Dukes have a 2-on-1 to Egbule. He misses, but it's followed up by Brown. And Louisiana hosting Central Michigan. Toledo coming off a loss to Kent State on Tuesday. Finister, the kick out. Laverne, well, he had really an open look there.
Oh,
and that's
him get loose. He's the one guy you do not want to let have that wide open 3. On something to get the ball in Davis's hands off of a screen, and then he may have a ball screen even after that. Let's see what happens here.
Egbule to Ricks.
Here he comes.
Finister. Fade away, Davis. No good. Rebound. Put back at it. That's, was that Ricks or was it Brown? Finister. Fade away, Davis. No good. Rebound. Put back at it. That's, was that Ricks or was it Brown?
Let him make a play off the bounce, and he made a great move, just didn't finish.
Ricks can't get it. Rebound. Oh, looked like 2 Dukes fought for it. And it came.
Let him make a play off the bounce, and he made a great move, just didn't finish.
Ricks can't get it. Rebound. Oh, looked like 2 Dukes fought for it. And it came off the hands of Fowler into the hands of the Cajuns. Shot clock is still in effect, but only by a couple of seconds.
Yep. Louisiana's going to get the last shot here if they execute.
Fans trying to make some noise.
It's probably going to be Finister.
Instead, Laverne, step back.
Early.
No. Rebound, back to Laverne. Olvera, drive, the kick out, 3-pointer, Finister. Good. 1.2 seconds to go, and it's a 64-61 Louisiana advantage.
I thought Laverne went too early, which he did, but if you can't clear the defensive rebound, that's not going too early. It's just creating an opportunity to get a second chance.
It works out. Watch it once again. That was the 14th offensive rebound today for Louisiana. And second chance points, that was number 11 and 12 and 13, in fact. No, I'm sorry. 10, 11, and 12, I should say.
We talked all game about how good Finister was at getting downhill and getting to the free throw line area and elevating. But when you're that wide open, it makes it a lot easier to knock down that three.
A lot of these offensive boards, just possessions, new possessions for the Ragin Cajuns.
Yeah, if JMU controls their defensive glass, I don't think there's any doubt they're in the winner's circle right now. That, and if they did that along with making 75% of their free throws, they're probably winning by 10 points. But these are the things that drive you crazy when you're a college basketball coach, because you can't control everything, and you want to so bad.
Yeah, this is a pretty good rate for Louisiana, because the Dukes have 23 defensive boards, but they've given up those 14 offensive rebounds. All right, Ricks can run.
I don't know if there's time to throw it to Brown and have him tap it back to one of these shooters or not. I don't think there's enough time for that.
Ricks with a baseball pass knocked away. 0.3 seconds remaining. James Madison. This is like a Hail Mary. Just throwing it up towards the rim. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?